Welcome! In this short video, you'll learn more about how to create and manage forms. Emarsys forms are a built-in option for you to collect and update contact data. You can easily create simple sign-up or specific newsletter registration forms and use them on your website or include them in your messages. There are various possibilities to use forms. Let's start with how to create a registration form. You just launched your new website and you'd like to increase the number of registrations per day. Just create an Emarsys registration form that you can include on your website and embed the same form in an overlay web campaign to drive more attention to registrations. Let's see how to do this in the platform. First, I navigate to the Form Overview page. Here, you can view, edit, duplicate, and delete existing forms as well as create new ones. When I click Create Form, I have to choose from these options. General Registration, for any kind of registration forms. In our use case, I'll be using this type. Change Profile, so your contacts can update their personal data. And Contact Us, to generate a form for contact requests. Here, you can also define who receives the notification messages so your teams know when they should get in touch with your customers. After creating the form, there are a few settings. First, description. Here you set the internal name and description of this form. Navigate to the Form Settings page to set its template. Choose the display language of the fields and opt-in invitation text for the form. Enable the login feature to require contacts to log in before they can submit the form. Enable reCAPTCHA v2 function to embed Google's reCAPTCHA site protection service into your forms. We highly recommend you use the reCAPTCHA service to protect your site from abuse, such as list bombing attacks carried out by spam bots. It's really easy to set. First, register your website domain and relevant suite Emarsys domain, and generate the site key and secret key on Google's reCAPTCHA site. Then, you just have to enable the feature and enter the generated site key and secret key on the Emarsys platform. You can find Google's reCAPTCHA domain registration link in our help portal. I just give a name and a description to my form, then I move from the form content page to set the banner image and the form text. I use a logo from the media database and add an introduction text. The next step is adding data fields to the form. On the left, you find all the available fields that you can add to the form, and you can create new ones. On the right, you see the fields which are already selected for the form. You can change their order of appearance and add sections or page breaks. Make a field mandatory by clicking on the asterisks. Add and remove fields using the right and left arrows to move them between the sections. Check this box to include a general opt-in invitation in the form. You can also add individual newsletters opt-in invitations by selecting pre-created newsletter registration forms. The more data a contact provides, the more personalization you can use to serve them better. So I also add the date of birth, country, and mobile fields to the form, but I don't make them mandatory to fill. On the post-registration screen, you can modify the Submit button, define a URL or landing page to display after the registration, and add email addresses to receive notification about each new registration. I set the end link and email notification, then I save and preview my form. If you would like to embed the form on your website, just have a look at the generated source code page. To make it even simpler, let's see how to embed this form in a web campaign with the help of Web Channel. I just navigate to the Web Channel Campaigns page. I create a block-based campaign. I choose the overlay type. I name my web campaign and set the recipient source. Then I go to the content step. Here, you can select from your pre-created blocks and edit the content in the live editor. I select the previously created form and test how it looks on my website. Finally, all I need to do is activate the Web Channel campaign. We hope that you enjoyed this session about forms, and thank you for your attention.